And we are live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4-day workshop, 12 weeks to win with Coach Caroline Doyle. We are thrilled to have you back this afternoon. Today is day 2. I'm Charm Sigales, the online business manager of Coach Caroline Doyle Consulting, and your host for this week. And for those who haven't watched the live broadcast, don't worry. We have a replay for yesterday. The recording is over in the guide section. You are in for another treat. This is my absolute favorite lesson. Get a pen and a paper and get ready to take some notes. This is so good. Now, for those who just tuned in today for the first time, again, the recordings are available on the guide section, okay? So for today, we are going to talk about planning, metrics, and strategies. And just to give you a quick overview for tomorrow, it will be all about self-image. And then on Friday, it's about making a move and doing what you have to do, because our goal is to win and maximize the remaining 12 weeks of 2021. Okay, so without further ado, I'm handing it over to Caroline. Caroline, take it away. It's all yours.
Thank you so much, Charm. Oh my God. What an energy. Charm is so good. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a great time. Yesterday, we had an amazing workshop. We had so many messages. Seriously, thank you, everybody. We had over 300 people who watch it in different platforms. So it's really good. I'm so glad that people wants to take some action to change the next 12 weeks. So today we'll talk about the roadmap to success, the sales process, the planning exercise, and you will have to define some strategies, tactics, metrics, okay? So for those who were not there yesterday, just let me introduce really quick myself, and then we jump on this one. This one, we have a lot of content and you will have a lot of tools too. So I'm Caroline Doyle. I'm a French Canadian. I'm from Montreal. So I was a lawyer. I did my MBA managing. I had a high management position. And in 2015, we moved to Alabama, where I had to reinvent myself. I was not really good in English, and I didn't know anyone in the US. And the only opportunity that I had, it was with insurance agents, a firm, which was a Fortune 100 company. So I had to be back in sales. I had to be learning everything, but also my goal, because I was like, I need to be back in a management position. My goal was to become the first woman for the South for this Fortune 100 company after 171 years. So because I had this mindset, because I had this goal, I knew exactly what I had to do. It was not easy. I had my up and down, but because of my focus, I was like, when I had it down, it was like, okay, how do I get back on track? And that's what I want to share with you. When you have a goal, you have to decide if you focus on the problem or if you focus on the solution. So having your goal should be a driver. So yesterday we shared about how you have to establish the right goals. Okay, goal A is based on your current result. Goal B is what you're planning. Goal C is what do you want? So I'm asking you again, what do you want for the next 12 weeks? Are you part of the group who will celebrate at the end of the year and say, oh my God, I did it. I didn't know how, but I had to believe inside of me. So now that you know where you want to go, now we need to put some meat around this because unfortunately, it will not happen by themselves. So let's do it. Charm, if you want to share a little bit, we have a PowerPoint to help you to understand, but you will find all those tools in your workbook. Okay, so let's do it. Oops, sorry. So the first thing that I want that everybody understand is you have to be, when we talk about mindset, okay, as I said yesterday, mindset is your thinking, your feeling, your action. All those three needs to be aligned to win. Okay, so if you have a good thinking, but your action are not there, you cannot do it. So our job is to make sure that we address the three of them. That's why this week we have this kind of workshop. But when we're talking about action, you also have to have a roadmap. So the roadmap to success that I call it. First, you need to be aware of where you are. Be aware of how you think. The second step, you have to make a vision. You have to know, what do you want for 10 years and 15 years? Yesterday, I asked you 50 goals. By the way, I don't know who did that, but how did you find this exercise? Put it in the chat. Did you get your 50 goals? So put the number in the chat. Okay, but this is helping you to design your vision that you want for your life. Then number 3 that we addressed it yesterday, how do you set a big goal? Now we're setting a big goal for 12 weeks. How do we create a vision board? And now, number 5 that we're talking today, 5, 6, and a little bit 7 and 8. This week we're flirting with the 7 and 8. I will say, how do we make it happen? Okay, how do we design a clear strategy and a clear action plan? But this is kind of the big step to have a roadmap to success. So take this and let's jump on the next one. But before we do a good planning, especially if you're in sales or in business. So if you're a realtor, a salesperson, your business owner, insurance agent, insurance managers, most of you, I will say, before you even do your planning, you have to know some of your processes. Okay, you need to have also a good mindset because that will help you to plan your week, to identify your strategy. So before I jump more on strategy, I will say, do you know your sales process? So do you have a good time management process? Do you understand the difference between what you have to do as a priority versus a to-do list? Okay, my priority, if I have a business, it's probably be in contact with clients, be in contact with prospects, versus my to-do is probably doing all the admin stuff, cleaning my house. We have to do it, but it's just in order. How do you block the time to reflect exactly what you have to do? Most of the time, we're so busy in our day. So the challenge that I will ask you is, how do you make sure you focus during the day about what you have to do to work towards your goal? So yesterday, you identify one goal for 12 weeks or 2. It could be a personal and a business. So when do you work on this goal? So one strategy is just blocking your time, having some block activities. Do you have a beginning of day process? So what that means, it could be your morning routine, that this is your personal development. I like to call this, and we will talk about this tomorrow, more your personal routine, your personal development. I call this the lifesaver, but I will talk about this tomorrow before you start to work. But this one that I want to address with you is your beginning of the process in your business. What do you have to do? You have a 15 minutes every morning to say, okay, you know, what do I have to do during the day, where I'm going, just, you know, I have to respond to those emails, or, you know, do you have a process? You have a checklist that you have to do the first 15 minutes of your day. Then, do you have a middle day of process or middle week of process? If you're in sales or you have a business, or you're realtor, or insurance agents, you are mainly in sales. Okay, so at midweek, let's say you need to have at least 15 appointments if you understand your ratio. We'll talk about this in the matrix section. Are you Wednesday at noon, you have 7 appointments? If not, how do you readjust? Because your job is to readjust quick to make it happen. So don't wait a month. Don't wait 6 months. And you have an end of day process. An end of day process is at least most of the time 30 minutes. If you have, and it's related to also your CRM. So for those who doesn't know, that's mean customer relationship management. So this is where you put, if you're in business, if you're in sales, that's where you put all your information. But everything that I'm saying, even if it's your goal is to, let's say, lose some weight, you may not need a CRM, but you need to track something. So it could be your journal. You know, what you have to do at the beginning of the day if you want to lose weight. You have to plan your activity. You have to have a meal plan. You have to do the grocery. So you can take those activities and translate this to your own goals. So if I go back to the business, because I think it's more for a lot of people that are looking for a business goal, in your end of day, do you have all your notes for every people that you talk that day? Did you build your to-do list? Do you have, did you put up to date your opportunity list? Did you build your follow-up list? Did you build your marketing? So all of this, it should be part of this. CRM, I'm a big fan of CRM, because I will tell you one thing. Even if you establish a goal, if you don't keep track, you will never get it. So your CRM will help you to structure your business and to help you to go to the next level. Even if it takes time, long run, you're saving a lot of time. So ask yourself, what do you have to do to implement really your CRM in your day-to-day? Then what about your marketing process, your strategy? Do you have to brand yourself? What do you have to do? So there's a difference between sales and marketing. So what do you do? If you know that most of your prospects are coming after, so if I say 80% of your sales are coming after 6 to 8 times that you're touching a prospect, how do you have a marketing around this? How do you have a follow-up process with your clients? You don't want to prospect. You don't want to send 28 messages in 2 days and say, oh yeah, I did my 8 touches. No, you need to have a strategy. Can you send a video to somebody? Can you share an article? Can you send a happy birthday? All these things. You have to identify what you have to do. But here's one thing. All this will not be done the first day. So your job that I wanted to ask you today, when you will start to look your planning, take a couple of processes and put you a deadline. Say, okay, this month, I would like to implement 2 or 3 processes. That's it. When I will master this, next month, I will do the other one. So I just want to give you some ideas here of what do we have to work on if we want to build a foundation to grow a business. Prospecting process too, planning, projection, metrics, and learning. You all have to learn. You all have to develop new skills. What is your learning process? Do you say, okay, every quarter I have to qualify to a new certification. I have to do this course. I want to invest in me, personal development. I want to read one book a week, whatever it is. It should be part of your process. So when you know that, then it's more helpful to say, okay, how do I start to plan? So I will say, have a list, but keep this list somewhere that you can refer this every month and say, okay, pick 2 for October that you would like to start to implement in your calendar. Because I'm telling you, if you do everything at the same time, you will fail. So take 2 and master it. When it's part of your habits, now we can talk. Now we go to the next one. If you have questions, please put it in the chat. I know I'm going fast, but I want to give you some ideas. When I coach, I can spend a lot of time with them, with my clients, to explain them, to go over this. But for the purpose of this now, we just want to give you some ideas so you can start to think about it. So now that you identify all your processes, one thing that I personally like to do is a monthly planning. So now, yesterday I asked you where you want to go for 12 weeks, where you want to be. So now you have to put this in a reflection. So let's say in 12 weeks, let's say you're in sales. You said in 12 weeks, I want to do, just keep it simple. Let's say you're on commission base. You want to take, I don't know, 10,000 a month. So you want to make another $30,000 before Christmas. So now we break it down. Let's say you want to lose, I don't know, 30 pounds, 10 pounds a month. You take your big goal of 12 weeks and now you break it down. Because if you keep it just for the 12 weeks, I'm telling you, some days you will take off. I say, I have time, I will do it tomorrow. I have time, I will do it tomorrow. And December 20, you will be at the same spot, at the same situation. So now that you know what you want to accomplish for 12 weeks, no matter your personal or your business, how do you break it down? How do you make this for October? Say, okay, what do I have to do this month to make it happen? So you can list, I put 10 goals, but I will say focus on maybe 1 or 2 or 3. It's up to you, but what is your main goal? And also, what is the reward if you achieve? We forget the reward. And look, it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. A reward could be, I go for a walk. I will listen to music, or I will watch a movie. Or you know what, if I accomplish this, maybe I take off the rest of the afternoon. But celebrate what you have. So for me, I like to say, okay, what do I have to accomplish? Then in those boxes, I'd like to identify, instead of desire goal, I would like to say desired strategy. Those are 3 blocks to identify 3 strategies to support your goal. So if I take back this example, $30,000 in commission or in sales for by the end of December, what do I have to do? What will be your 3 major strategies? Okay, how many clients do you have to do? How many clients do you have to meet? How many prospects you have to meet? How many clients you need to have? So how you will find this? What are your strategies? So this is important. So let me give you an example. When I was an insurance agent, one of my strategies was I need to identify all the networking that I can attend. Because when I was doing networking, I was seriously scheduling 10 appointments from this networking in my calendar. I didn't have time to call or send email, believe me. But that's a different topic that I can share with you how I did that. But networking was one. It was so important. It was like, no matter what, I have to show up to those. So I had to identify when. So the first time is, where do I plug those networking? Then maybe was, I need to go visit 20 businesses a week to have a conversation, to let them know. I want to know also, not only for sales, but to connect with people and say, what did make them successful? Why do they have this business? And they are in my neighborhood. It's important because I would love to refer them some business too. So have your strategies. You know, right now I'm running a business. One thing that I love to do is LinkedIn. So do you have a strategy? Do you say, okay, I would like to connect with 25 people a day? How do you do your follow-up? All this. So knowing your strategy, then you start to plug this in your calendar. And then I put action to take to support your strategy, to support your strategy. So what are the action? And you can take this block for each strategy. But the main thing is what you identify, you have to plug this in your calendar. Otherwise, it will just stay a paper exercise. So the goal is to help you to make it happen. So what do you have to do and by when? And then plug it in your calendar. So if you need to have, let's say 10 appointments a week, and by the way, whatever is your industry, if you do some research on this, if you're in sales, you're a business owner, in average, depending your industry and your business, but in average, I will say the magic number is you need to have 10 appointments a week, not only as an insurance agent. I'm telling you, do some research on this, but a magic number, 10. So where do you meet those future clients or already your clients? 10 people a week. So you have to start to plug this in your calendar. So all this is so important. So take maybe an hour or two to have a strong monthly plan. So, okay, what is my goal for this 12 weeks? Then I break it down to a monthly. I identify 3 strategies to support this. And action is your tactics, or action is the same thing. By when needs to be done, and make sure you plug this in your calendar. Otherwise, it will never, never, never be done. And also, you have to identify what kind of resources you need. Do you have to delegate some task to somebody? Okay, so that's part of our monthly planning. So if you don't do your monthly planning, I will say that's one tip that I will say, take some times. Saturday morning early with your coffee or Friday afternoon, and just do this. It's important. It will help you to stay focused. Go back to a roadmap. So now that you know what you have to do for the month, how do you identify this with your weekly? As you can see here, okay, so this, we cut it just to fix this, but it's supposed to be hours. Okay, so this is block of hours. What are your priorities versus your to-do list? Do you have like, so you want to put 1 or 2 priorities here and say, where do I plug this in my calendar? What is the top priorities for the week? And again, what is the goal for this week? You put it for monthly, now you break it down. And now you have to follow this. So what is your primary priority? Maybe second, and if you're lucky, you may have 3 that you can accomplish that day. But I will say don't go more than this. So again, there's a difference between growing your business than being busy all day. What do you have to do to grow your business? What do you have to do to make it happen on your goal? Even if it's losing weight, it's the same thing. You can use this to say, okay, how do I meal? Where do I do the meal plan? Where do I prep my food? Where do I work out? Where do I read about how to change my mindset to lose the weight? What do I have to learn about this? When do I journal to keep track of what do I eat, or whatever you're doing as a formula? But what you do in business, you can apply it to your personal goals too. How do you clear your debt if it's part of your goal? You know, do you reassess your budget? Do you take some money or say, okay, I know that I will have this kind of money is coming, I will clear this. Do you have a plan? So that's the message today, but use the monthly and the weekly planning for sure. After that, you do this. And the key, okay, less than 3 or 4% are doing this. If you want to be successful, keep your metrics. Your metrics is your mirror of where you are, where you want to go. Most people who don't want to do metrics, first of all, it's because they don't understand the importance of this, but also sometimes they don't want to see the result of their action. So you set a big goal yesterday. You also want to keep track because you want to readjust quick instead of after, running your business and doing everything and getting to Christmas, say, I didn't reach my goal. You will feel so disappointed. So instead, take the 5 minutes that it will take a day or 5 minutes a week to keep track of metric and say, okay, on Friday, I put it on this week. So that was an example of tracker that I have for some insurance agents. Why it was important? So this way they can keep track. Here we don't see it, but we were able to have a ratio. Say, okay, every 4 calls that I'm doing, I have an appointment. So the day that you're doing 8, on average, you will have 2 appointments. The day that you have 2, you know what? You didn't do your own ratio, not Joe Blow ratio, your own ratio. How you feel? You didn't do your job, so you cannot complain. You just have to say, okay, tomorrow I have to do more, or you know what? I have to make it happen. That's also part of the mindset to say, you know what? If I know that every 4 or 5 calls I have an appointment, I need to set 10 appointments. How many calls do I need to do? I know that every appointment, let's say 3 appointments, I have a closing. Start to do this, and I'm telling you, it will help you to start to design your business in a different way. I'm telling you. And then have fun with this. Have fun and start to beat yourself. Not beat, but like trying to do, not beat is not the right word, but try to say, okay, what I did last week, I want to improve by 1%. Okay, I'm telling you, if you want to be part of the less than 5% of doing this, you will accelerate your goal. Okay, if you join my coaching, I will share with you. I just built a new tools for all my clients. And it's so easy to put all the numbers and then it's related to another one. It's so cool. And you will see it will help you. That's the goal at the end of the day. But if you're not ready to have your metrics, maybe you're not ready to accomplish this. Okay, at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. Are you playing for the winner's team, or you play for the other team? Only you can make this decision. Only you. So try to learn your metrics. If it's not clear, I will say schedule a 15 minutes call with me and I will help you. I will share with you free 15 minutes call how to use metrics. So if you want to schedule, Charm will put my calendar in the chat. If you're not sure about your strategy or your metrics, schedule a 15 minutes call with me and I will guide you right away. This is a different kind of metrics, but it's still good. Say, okay, this one, somebody wants to generate new business activity. This one, it was for health and fitness. Say, okay, I have to do this every week. I have to do this week 2, 3, 4, 5, depending. This one, I have to conduct this on week 4. So on your planning of your 12 weeks, you can decide also, because some action could be every week, some action or not. So this is just to give you other ideas of what kind of metrics you can have. If you have questions, please write it down in the chat. So you have this in your workbook. So now that you understand the goals and you have a planning and you start to identify your tactic and your metrics, on top of this, you need to have the right mindset. Otherwise, nothing will happen. So what is the high performer habits that you need to develop? And this applies to your business, to your personal goal. First of all, you need to be optimistic. Okay, watch out to this word. Everybody laugh when I say this word, but hey, you know what? English is not my first language. So you have to be enthusiastic. You need to have fun with this goal. Okay, I'm sorry for the word, but you can read. So you need to be like really happy about your goal and say, you know what? I was giving an example as if you have a business or you're in sales, you have to become a fanatical prospector and say, you know what? I have fun. It's not like, oh, I don't like to do this. If you don't like to do this, maybe you're in the wrong industry. But say, you know what? Instead of saying it's a sales, why I don't say I'm looking for a conversation with somebody. I'm having fun. I'm positive. I'm optimistic. I'm a fireball energy, or I'm a, I love to do this. And you know what? Maybe your energy will reflect on somebody else and you can change their day. You may have an impact and you don't know. You also have to be a little bit competitive, but not with everybody, with yourself. You are your bigger competitor, not the industry, not the number one company, whatever. You are the one. It's on you to decide where you want to go. So you have to develop this competition. Are you confident? Okay, those examples that I was giving, it was for from a conference that I was giving, but it's give you some example. Do you have a fear of rejection, or fear of not having an income, or even worse, a fear of not reaching your goals? So how do you develop a confidence? We'll talk tomorrow. You will have some tips about this. But how do you make sure that this starts to reflect the need of achievement? If you don't have a need of achievement, your goal is not the right one for you. Okay, you want to fall in love with your goal and say, yes, I'm worth it. I say yes to myself. I'm worth it. I want to do this goal. But you also need to have persistence. Okay, no matter what is your goal, personal or business, you will have some up and downs. So how do you make sure that the curve, even with the up and downs, the curve stay like this? To give you an example, when I joined New York Life, the first year was not easy to become a, insurance agent, financial advisor. And one tip that my manager told me that day, he said, and he was a very, very successful person. He had another career before. He was vice president of a company before he joined New York Life. And he said, you know what? My first year, I thought that I wanted to quit 10 times. And now he was like, he had a very, very good job, and he was doing he had a big impact on a lot of people. So I was like, I love it. So what I did, just to share with you, I took a Post-it and I put 10, 9, 8 until 1. And I said, each time I want to quit, I will cross and I will say, okay, I will send a message to him. I will text him and say, I quit, but I'm back tomorrow. And you know what? I probably quit 3 times, but just doing this, you release. At the end, I got partner of the year. I had a very good team. We changed lives of many clients. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't quit. So give you some tip, give you some ways to say, you know what? It's okay to say today, I want to quit, but tomorrow I'm back. Because persistence, no matter what you're doing, you need to have persistence. You have to develop this. And somebody shared that with me, and I thought it was pretty good. Somebody said to me, when life is throwing you some obstacles, that's mean life wants to test you, want to test how serious you are about your goal. So I'm asking you how serious you are with your goal. If you have an obstacle, life wants to see if you're serious about your goals. So now my perception is like, yes, bring it this obstacle, because I'm serious. And I know that if I go over this obstacle, I overcome the obstacle, I'm one step closer to my goal. So bringing on obstacle, I will address it, because that's mean I'm one step closer to my goal. So change your perception when you have obstacle, but persistence is a key. Nothing will happen, even in sport, even in music, you need to have persistence. Number 5, thirsty of knowledge. You need to learn. in your field, in your industry. You need to have a coach to help you to get out of your mind. You know that I have 3 coaches. Systematic processes, I share about this. What are your process? You have to lean on this. You have to be efficient so you can reach your goal. Focus and discipline is the key. So do you have a high performer mindset? Write it down. Write one that you know that on 1 to 6, which one do you really master? I'm curious. So write down which one do you really master? And those that you don't master, you don't have to share, but take some note and say, how can I improve? So in your book, so I share a couple of things today, but I also want that you reflect about just what I said. Success leaves clue. So what kind of behavior needs to be changed? It could be your processes, your focus, your discipline, your planning. What kind of behavior need to be changed? List 5 actions you can start to implement this week. 5 actions, not necessarily changing all the processes, but 5 actions. That was from yesterday also. Did you list? That's an idea from your goals, or if you're in sales, can you list 50 activities that you can do to meet people, to have a conversation? If you don't limit yourself, that's an example in sales. Think about where you can meet people and have a conversation. You're all in sales or in business. How do you grow? How do you get this? How do you get the message? Does people know you? Planning. So if we go back, this is part of your workbook. If you go back to what I share with you, what you have to plan this quarter, this month, this week, and how do you plan your day? I like to say, how do you win your day? So answer this question in the chat. How do you win your day? What do you have to do? So every morning I start to ask myself, what do I have to do to win my day? It's part of my end process and beginning of process day too. I have to answer those questions. This is some example to help you to build some metrics, to ask you about the right question so you can identify what do you need to keep track of. And what did we share today? Where's your gap? Okay, you're here, you want to go there, there's a gap. So your job is to reduce this gap. What do you have to do? How can you transfer this to an action plan? So that's what I want to share today. I know it's a lot. I want to but I want to give you some tips, some tools that you will have to start to reflect. It will not be overnight, but I don't want to overwhelm you. I want that you understand that you have the opportunity to reach your goal. It's not only everybody else, it's you. So set the goal, set the right mindset, and start to implement the high performer habit to reach this goal. Plan your goal, plan your strategy, and then we'll talk about the execution. If you're not sure and you want to have some permanent result, book an appointment. You're not sure about your goal, your strategy, your metrics, book an appointment. It will be my pleasure just to guide you. Okay, I've done this in so many years. I can help you. So book an appointment if you're not sure. It will be my pleasure. So I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you. It will be time. Charm will just close this appointment, this workshop, but seriously, I hope you have a lot of things to work on. And tomorrow we'll talk about the self-image. Okay, how do you start to think like the person you want to be? So thank you so much, everybody. Have fun, and Charm, I'll let you conclude this workshop.
Thank you so much for another wonderful lesson. Caroline, I cannot imagine you give this lesson for free. The strategies are so on point, and so business targeting strategies and I want to be honest. This is being paid to other courses or to other coaches. Thank you for giving out this lesson. And Caroline emphasized today that it's very important that you really know what you want. That's the lesson yesterday, right? And the lesson for today is to couple it with planning, metrics, and strategies. And Caroline just emphasized it. It was so perfect. And you always have to have a process in place to establish the goal and reach what you wanted. Caroline emphasized using CRM or customer relation software to integrate everything, marketing process, branding yourself, time management. I'm also guilty of this one.
Oh, we're
The
all.
lesson for
It takes discipline to make it happen.
exactly. And she just, you actually bet it, like you divided, you explained it so well in a very simple manner. So the lesson for today is about the process on how to achieve the goals and doing a monthly planning, breaking it down into weekly activities and keeping your metrics so you can keep track of your progress and your results. Ratio and your numbers. So I'm also guilty with this one. Sometimes I do not want to look at to my numbers because sometimes it's so frustrating. Let's admit it, okay? But I just heard it from her today. It's very important so that you know where you are currently and you know what to adjust and where you're headed on. So this lesson is so on point and so far the best lesson for
Thank
me
you, Sharp.
personally. First, I am learning every day. So thank you. It was my pleasure to share the stage with you and to do all the assistance. You're so great. No wonder you get those clients. It's because
Sharp.
you got this. And
You make me red.
because not everyone have this process. And not everyone knows how to get the goal. Because, okay, you have the goal, but you don't know how to achieve the goal, and you just give it out today. And if you want to know more, this is just the start. If you want to know more on how to achieve the goal step by step, she is the right person to talk to. Go ahead, we'll be posting the calendar link after the live session right after the live broadcast today. And hit that button, schedule a 15 to 30-minute appointment so that you can discuss the goals and hover over on what to do next to get the clarity and to win the remaining 12 weeks of the year. As what she told us, are you part of the top 5% who will celebrate by December 2021?
Yes.
And of course, we want to all be part of it, right?
Yeah.
So again, keep your numbers. That's one lesson that was being imparted to me today.
I'm glad
keeping
that's
the metrics. Yes, I am. Personally, I am learning. So keeping the metrics and the numbers and rewarding yourself by celebrating small wins. That's so important because there are times that we feel burnout because there seems to have small movements, slow progress, but it's so important for us to celebrate those wins so that we will keep on going no matter how challenging and difficult it is.
Yeah.
And do you have the traits to be a high performer? We all have it. Don't worry. Caroline will help us develop the traits. And as what she said, and as what Warren Buffett said, he's actually the top three richest men in the world. This is a quote from him. Okay, we are going to borrow it because this is so important. The best investment you can make is the investment in yourself.
Yeah.
The more you learn, the more you'll earn. Okay, and every high performer individual have coaches. She emphasized about reducing the gap, and you can only do that if you have a high performance coach. She told you earlier she have 3 coaches herself. I also have a coach. That's why the result that I'm getting doubled within the last 3 months. Plus, I took on a very high performance course as well. That's why I was able to build this self-image, but I must admit I am still on the process of my progress of development. It's still not working the process. But look at me. I'm a living testimonial of this program, of this course. And if it had made me this confident, what more will it do with you, with your business, and with your goals? 3 months, 12 weeks is so achievable, and that's a long time to achieve whatever you want to achieve. As she told you yesterday, she just put on a goal and hit it, overachieve it before the end of the year. And you can do it too. So go ahead, book that appointment. We are going to leave the calendar link, okay? So tomorrow's training will be another fantastic training, and it's just getting better. These are all free training, and I cannot believe that this is even a free training, because this lesson, you'll get it if you get a master's degree, if you enroll in a business course, but she's just giving it out for free. So,
yeah. But with my clients, I go more in detail. This is just, the surface, but yes. And I will say last year we did a survey, 88% of my clients achieve or overachieve their goal. We're about to do another survey, but seriously, it's always steps. So if people apply the same process, it works. It works. So I would love to share this magic with everybody.
Exactly, and absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing it to everyone.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so be back here at 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, or you can always catch us on the replay of the live training. Someone asked earlier, yes, there is a replay, and it's being recorded and uploaded right after this session. And we are also posting it outside on all social media platforms of Caroline, because these are all important lessons. And you got the steps. The steps is already in there. All you have to do is to talk to Caroline. That is the reason why she have a lot of high performer students.
Yes.
Yes, because of the process. Because it's always, given the fact that you bought a course, but if there's no process in place, no steps to follow, you're lost, right? But with Caroline, the steps are already in there. The process is there. So it's 2 in 1. You got one, it's like buy one, take one. Complete package. And it's so great.
Hey, thank you, Charm. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes.
Thank you, all your team. They're doing a great job. Everybody, see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at 12. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, and have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Yes. Bye-bye.